Hello everyone, are you ready to get going? Here we are, day one in our advent calendar. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so we're going to start off with some light brown wool. I've pulled a small amount off and I'm going to show you how I measure everything out. So I've cut out this template from a piece of card. I've measured 8 centimetres by 5 centimetres. So this is just going to help us keep all the sizes roughly in the right proportion when we do this part of the project. So I've pulled off a bit of wool that's just slightly bigger than that piece of card, and I'm just going to tap all over it. Like I say, we're using the light brown for this. So a little bit of poking with your needle. I'm using a 38G triangle needle, but if you've just got a medium-sized needle, that'll work just fine. So I'm tapping all over it just to start getting the fibres to bind together. Remember all through your projects is to lift it every so often off your mat, because otherwise the fibres tend to stick to the mat below. I've pulled off another piece the same size, so this is my second layer, and I'm now going to felt that down a little bit. Throughout these tutorials I'm going to be speeding up some parts where it's just me stabbing, because that's not much fun to watch. So just spend a little bit of time firming this up, keep turning it backwards and forwards, lifting it off your mat, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get this into the right size. So bring back your piece of card. You can see what size we need to make it to. We're just going to tip over, fold over that edge and needle felt it down quickly in place. And then we're going to get the piece of card and we're going to lay it back down on top so we can measure where we need to fold at the bottom there. So you can see roughly. Again, it hasn't got to be absolutely exact. This is just a rough measure using the piece of card. And so I'm needle felting down that bottom layer that I folded up. The edges haven't got to be terribly neat yet. We're going to go back and neaten them up in a little while. So now I've done the top and the bottom, I want to do the sides. So lay that card back on again. See roughly where I want to fold in that side. And needle felt it down. And then we're going to do on the last side. You can actually use a bit of card to fold it over. There we go. And that's the last side folded in. And this is the size of the shape that we're making on day one. So what we need to do now is we need to firm this up, and we're going to add another couple more layers on. Now, as well as speeding up the video in places, you're going to see me sometimes use slightly different tools. You do not need to use these at all. If all you've got is a single needle, you will 100% be able to do this. No problem at all. But I sometimes will be grabbing my handle that's got 3 or maybe 2 needles in. Just speeds me up a little bit. But if you've only got one needle, just stick with one needle. That's absolutely fine. So now we're going to spend just a few minutes just poking all over this rectangle, because we want to make it a bit firmer. The more you poke with your needles, the more the fibres will bind together and the firmer your model will become. So we want this rectangle to be a little bit firmer, so I'm poking away. And now we want to make this rectangle fatter. So keeping the same size but making it fatter. So I'm adding on enough wool just to cover the shape. And I'm going to felt that down. I'm going to be quite careful to try and not let the shape expand by doing this. So I'm just making sure all those little edges tuck in. So that was our third layer on all together. And now I'm going to repeat that and put a fourth layer on. Again, just folding the little wispy bits at the side over, getting it all tacked down. And then in a minute, we're going to spend a bit of time firming up the shape again. So as before, I'm grabbing my multi-needle tool, but you don't need it. It will speed you up a bit, but you can 100% use just a single needle to do this. And I'm just going to spend a little bit of time, we'll speed up again, just to firm this shape up. Now I want to start concentrating on the edges. I want to neaten up all the edges going around the outside. So this time I'm coming in from the side. I'm coming in at an angle. Rather than going downwards, I'm coming in sideways. Mind your fingers while you're doing this. And then going back to doing some more poking, stabbing all over, just to try and get this a little bit firmer. And there we go, the shape's getting quite solid now. Still quite flexible, not absolutely rigid, but holding its shape. And I'm just going to do a little bit more tidying up, a little bit more poking here and there. And then I'm happy. That's the first day done. That's your first shape. So we've made a light brown rectangle. And I'll see you tomorrow.